Hi everyone. Welcome to the episode 2. So we are continuing with what we have learned yesterday, and we're going to continue as such, moving one step ahead towards a journey where we learn things. So today I have selected a topic on temperature. So we all want we all must have heard about temperature. Someone may have used it across any conversation around you with AI to select a temperature. What comes to your mind? Initially, I used to think when we say to set a temperature, we used to cool down the data centers to ensure that chips don't melt. So that's what I used to think of the term temperature in terms of AI. But later on, I realized that it is more than what I got an impression of. So you can ignore this part. This I have already set up that my Ollama is running. As you can see, the same Qwen model, and here we can. I have hosted another Python application in which what we are going to do is after learning temperature, what we are going to do is we are going to see how changing a temperature for an AI prompt uh, can alter the responses. Can we can see a different responses. So this is the short small application that I have created from ChatGPT, obviously, because we don't code anymore. We just instruct the AI to build the application to create something for us. So first, temperature. What is temperature? So when we in terms of AI understanding temperature, it is like being creative versus being very strict towards the policy. Now when we say first the temperature values, it can goes from 0 to okay to all the way to 2 and sometimes 1. So it revolves around this range. Let's suppose you have to write a letter, or let's suppose you have to work on a code. You have to develop a code. You have to develop something very straightforward in which there should be logical reasoning. There should not be any we can say less creative work. So you keep the temperature low to ensure that your response is more up to what you want, instead of a more creative. Now let's suppose you are in marketing. You want to create some banners, some slogans. You want to do creative stuff. You want to write stories. You want to write prompts for your upcoming uh, campaigns or so you can change the temperature from more towards 2 until and less towards zero point 0.1 and zero point 0.2. So this is how it is altered, and I have used it at one of my project. So what I used to do is it is more like a SAS scan. So when we get all the response from the SAS scan, so there are a lot of false positive. So when once there are a lot of false positive, so I used to give the findings to the AI with the context of the piece of code in which there was a faulty code written. And what the AI used to do is triage that code, whether it is a false positive, true positive. We have to drop it here instead of because when we do SAS scan, there are a lot of findings. It is one of the cybersecurity practices to do before shipping the code. So so from there we used to, we can say, triage it and ensure that false positive we can triage them by then. So then and there I learned about this temperature, how we can control it, how we can make use of it as per our project. So there is no use of any creative work. So we don't want AI to create exploit for a particular piece of code. So what we used to do is we ensure that our temperature remains close to 0. So it just triage that thing and not go in deep diving in creating exploits, or we can say doing something else apart from we intend of doing for that piece of we can say job. So that is there when I learned about it. Let's suppose you are in let's suppose you are in more in creative field. You want to create PRDs, you want to create features, brainstorm about things. So you can alter the temperature to more towards two, so you can have a better grip over the creative side. So for this, I asked GPT best temperatures for as per GPT. Yeah, use case and temperature. Let's suppose you are doing coding. It should be logical. It should be very concise. You do not want any creation of any new things. So you should be using this values for temperature if you are altering a temperature in any of your projects, such as we are going to do now. So what I'll do is I'll just like I did yesterday, it is going to be over my GitHub, and I'm going to paste that link over the description so you can access this app. You just have to save it and run it as Python. Run it in Python, so it will be very easy for you. You just need an Ollama running with Qwen3 4 billion model. And if you have anything else, any other preference, you can use that and change the model to that. So it will run as per your available model. Okay, so going forward with cybersecurity, obviously you do not want to create things. You want to be in a direction. You're not doing creative things, and so SQL generation zero. So you don't want creative things. It is just collect things as per your requirement and put them in an SQL query, such as. And even so, if you go ahead like documentation, not generating more creative stuff and more towards randomness, email, blog writing. You can see the blog writing is more towards two, because it should be a little creative in terms of writing, but at the same time it should not move or redirect from the direction or the topic of the blog. Story writing, obviously it should be more towards two, because it has to be a little creative. Brainstorming, as we can see, we are going towards two and getting more creative in terms of creative we can say jobs or creative prompts. Like creative writing, obviously it should be 1.5. So what I have done is I have created not created I got these prompts that we will be uh, watching it live, what is going to happen to them, what are the different outputs they are going to give in different temperature settings. So I have already uh, ran this application. Yes, so this is the application in which for a prompt you are going to get two responses. Left one is the temperature you set here, right one the temperature you set here. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to copy paste that prompt and put it here and generate an output from in a less temperature and a more temperature. I simply said hello in a less temperature, said hi, how are you, hello, how can I assist you today, and the same times a more towards two temperature 1 point, which is 1.86, gave me how can I help you today. So it is a simple prompt, it doesn't need any creative, it's just to the point prompt. I was checking that it is working fine with my local LLM running. So now what we are going to do is at the same time we are going to monitor what is happening in background. So you have the idea of if you are going to create a project locally, run a project locally, what is the background, what is happening to Ollama, what kind of request Ollama is getting, how it is managing. So as we can see, it is getting 404. I'll just confirm that if it's running. I can I use that here? It should be no. Okay. Uh, all right. Not now. It should be 1 1. Okay, so we can see Ollama is running. That is fine for us. So okay, we have a get response for a 200. So okay, that should that gives us the impression that it is working. It is giving out 200 as a response to any request. All right, so now what we are going to do is we are going to paste this prompt. I'm just gonna copy this, and to be honest, I have not analyzed this as of now, but I'm pretty sure that it is going to give us a surprising numbers, not numbers but surprising data. To even though it is a very small uh, prompt and a very small uh, a small AI model that we are going to be using here. So our prompt will be extract the name, city, and the job title from uh, Dr. Sahara Chan, data science based in Seattle, LED the panel. I'm not sure what is LED the panel is, but let's see what happens. Okay, so I'll go as we click a compare, we can see it's the application says generating, but at the back you can see a lot of request, a lot of data that is flowing through. It is the Ollama which so here uh, after here it started all the processes. We send the data and then it start processing to memories. What is the current state of memory, our RAM, GPU, what is the state, and then loading the model from the server. Great. Okay, it is showing my details of the system. Great. Okay, so from here it started. Okay, I can hear the fan running. So let's see. Okay, we can see. Oh, it is up to 94% in 3D and dedicated GPU memory is it's almost 50%. So it has also guardrails. Ollama has also guardrails to not heat up or not melt your hardware. So it manages not to keep 100% and do not let other processes use the memory. So that's a good part. Okay, so here we can see it started. Okay, it's still in the memory architecture. Okay, I want to show you where the temperature. Okay, load cache size is the special token size is 27. So these are all the parameters that are there for the prompt. Qwen is thinking. Great. You can see there all the metrics of all the prompts. We have all the access to the what the Ollama is doing to uh, our environment or the llama context. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you guys where where is the request for. Okay. So this is the hello, and then we wasted. mm, Where's our prompt? From here it started processing, so it should be right here. Okay, task -1, which would be task 0. Try Kubernetes. Okay, I believe so. It says token use and everything. So I believe there would be one moment. Yes, so it has already generated our message. I just wanted to check where is the parameter. Okay, here it should be. Okay, you can see the temperature 1.5, which we have set in the right one. So for that prompt that went with temperature 1.5 is right here, and it's okay. So it's there's gonna be one more for temporary. But anyways, let's look into what we have got. So there's one more problem that we are currently facing. So when you give an AI to do a work, even with the zero point 0.1 temperature or zero temperature, it every time it creates different, not different, but for a similar output, a different language. So what we have recently observed is that if you want to find out vulnerabilities and check whether the previous vulnerability is mitigated or not, and if it is not there, so you can remove them, add the new one. But what it actually does is it keeps the previous one because it has um, different way of writing, and it adds on the new one since the way of writing is different, but however both of them are same. So each time you run a scan, you get a different wording, different kind of explanation, but it is same if you're trying to get a specific thing. So we will observe this, that what it gives us at 0.10 a temperature based on the provided string. Here is an exact information explanation. The name is derived from the prefix doctor followed by the rest of the string. I guess both of them look pretty similar. Okay, but we can see it. The right one has more text-rich data in it. So it is also similar based on the text provided. Uh, I extract the following information, name the part immediately after. Here it says prefix, not just wanted to deliver something, not want to be very elaborative about it. So here it is kind of elaborative. The city after the word I in the text, specifically Seattle, word, final extract, and then explaining what it does. The extraction follows the structure of the text where the comma separated segment and the city is identified as word directly after n the job, blah blah blah. So it is more like, so this is also very subjective, very not straight prompt. Hate you GPT for this. Could have given me the simple thing? Okay, write a simple Python function to calculate factorial of a number. It should be. We have to see if this is something that we can make use of. It, in my opinion, it should have very different answers, like from a very smaller one to a very larger one with comments and over explanations. So let's see what happens. So here we can see it started with tokens and everything. Okay. Chat keep 0.01. I'll from next time I'll just copy paste it and try to search it in the. Okay, got. I'm still trying to look at the first prompt. Okay, so here we can see the temperature is 0.098, but we have added 0.10, so there should be some errors from my end in the application about uh, temperature parameter. Okay, I'll look into it later, but you can see it is much lower towards zero than. Okay, I believe we have the answer already. Okay, it's kind of similar. Here's a simple Python function to calculate factorial of non-negative integers. Sim okay, so when we see the actual code, it is very similar, but but factorial is not defined for negative numbers. So it is also handling an error if we are moving it to very creative side. Rest, I believe it is same. One difference, just one difference. We keep it more creative side. It uh, it add an error. It is very fascinating that if you have a very creative, very I can say open or very uh, not designer actually, but creative is probably the correct word. Now let's what we can do is for the same prompt, I want this to be 2. Let's see what happens if the temperature is 2. What worse could happen. And we are also very limited to our generations because we are using very smaller model and not very larger model to give us a very we can say, imagine a junior or an intern working in marketing versus a marketing head. uh, the way of thinking of the way of delivering are totally different. So in such a way we have a very smaller model, not probably a slighter greater than an intern, maybe a junior artist. Okay, okay. So it changes the raise value. N must not be an integer. It from error. Okay, from it is still an error, but okay. Now let's here it is very interesting. Like for a lower temperature, it is bulky. First, it is giving us the approach, what are factor problems, analyze it, and then solution is still the same. And at this time also it gave us this similar value and than this, and rest I believe it is same. And it also for a creative one, more creative one, it has given us the example of the test codes test that must the model must have run in it. So we'll try one more before winding up this quick session. So I'll first read, explain how clouds form in simple term for middle school student. Write a cozy pitch describing coffee shop as if it were a magical century. Invent 3 bizarre invention. We will use for a sci-fi city built in giant floating bubble. Let's see where the Qwen3 model will create here. Okay, we are keeping it to very low and very high. No in between. And hear my voice yesterday, and it was very terrible with the other headphones mic. So I'm using this one. So it is usually used in call centers and stuff. But it is good. It is the Jabra one is good. Okay, so we have why it is so bulky. I don't want to read it. Let's see what the other response get us. Okay, so while it comes, let's read this. Here are 3 bizarre, deeply integrated invention for sci-fi city living inside a giant floating bubble. The ethyl bubble, designed to feel plausibly weird, solving the city unique environment challenge. Fuck, it is more bulky, but anyways, even invent exploits the bubble's physics in unexpected most biological way. No lasers drone. Okay, it is also taking care of the environment around that in a giant floating bubble what you should not take. First, a cosmic symbiotic network. What is that? A large city network of genetically engineered. What the fuck is that? that grows the bubble's outer layer, harvest cosmic radiation as energy. Why it's bizarre? The bubble isn't just made of CSNs, it's alive, microbes. Fuck, this is AI's brain that is telling us what is this. But let me just why energy harvesting happens, symbiotic reason. So it is also giving the explanation how the energy is going to be created. When cosmic rays hits the bubble, the microbes vibrate at a specific frequency, converting the energy into electrical pulse that powers the city. But here's a twist. The city's citizen tune the network by humming or tapping their feet on resonant surface. This modulates the microbes uh, vibration, adjust the bubble energy output without electronics. Real world weirdness. If the bubble gets too unstable, example near a black hole, so it is assuming it is in space. The microbes emit a low frequency singing that cause citizen to feel euphoric but temporarily lose motor controls, like natural energy overriding. Why it is fitting the, but even at zero point 0.1 temperature, it is giving very generative and very logical answers. Okay, it should give logical answers to everything, and it should be very concise. Okay, order data transfer. It is variable device that converts cities waste, air, and even human breath into smell like data packets. Fuck, smell like data packets for communication and environmental monitoring. Can you convert a smell into a data? It is very fascinating, at the same time very disturbing. In my last project, I have created data air gap data transfer from QR stream, and fuck, smell based data packet transfer. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. We're not going to read that. We're going to jump to the third one. Resonance compass, RC, what is it? A device that uses a natural harmonic vibration of bubble itself to navigate the city internal structure without any external sensor. Oh, okay. Now let's move to what the temperature 2 has to say. Okay, I closed it. Here are the three bizarre but functional possible invention designed for. Have I written the name? How does it getting the ethyl name? Look, is it a thing? Ethyl that I'm not aware of. That it is like Atlantis. It is possible. Mhm. Nah. Okay. A sci-fi city floating, consider a colossal semi-transparent spherical bubble, 100 kilometers diameter. Okay. That drifts in interstellar void. The bubble acts itself as self-sustaining microbes, no external gravity, light, or atmosphere present. So these invention solves the city's unique problems throughout utterly weird physics, define yet uh, narratively compelling mechanism. Each invention's prioritize explanatory weirdness. They feel improbable but logical fit Ethel's bubble ecosystem and avoid cliches like gravity wheel or neural interface. The first one is gravity. So this is more not very going towards bizarre, but solving problems of a bubble city. Gravity lattice vibrator. So what does it? Prevents Ethel cities from drifting away from a bubble center, where the 0 point where the bubble internal pressure stabilize the city. Okay, but it is more creative in terms of the writing, and now I'm not sure. So what I'll do is I'll add the response in the description or in a link. You guys can read it. So I'm not a very good reader. I am. So I hope you get this point, get the point of this, that how temperatures can vary your output. How, so let's suppose if you are using using AI in a project, and using interacting with AI with an API key with Bedrock, how you can control the responses as per the requirement of the prompt and as per your solution to any agentic pipeline or the AI agent that that do the work. So I hope you guys get it, and that's all for today. I'll try to come up with something else tomorrow that uh, that also seems fitting in continuation to this, so we can learn and grow alongside. Bye everyone.